guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do the Victorian era book tag. I believe I was tagged in this by Books of Blood like decades ago. Again, I'm sorry I'm really late on tags. I think this is the last one I have. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, tagged by Books of Blood. And the original tag was created by the tag was originally created by Elizabeth Sagewood, who will also be linked in the description. So here are the prompts. The prompt number 1 is Halloween 1979, move-in day. Tell us your favorite Halloween memory from when you were growing up. Good question. I don't really have any. I don't know. I don't really have any particular memories from Halloween. I just remember going around asking for candy sometimes. It's kind of a blur. But I do remember as a teenager and like almost young adult, we'd have some cool parties, my friends and I, where we have this tradition of doing like horror movie, like pizza movie night or like burger movie night, whatever, you get the drill. And yeah, it was fun. This year we watched Hellhole on Netflix, which was super fun. I actually really enjoyed it, although we all agreed that it should have had a totally different ending. I'm not going to spoil it though, but if you have seen it, let me know in the description and we can talk more about it because I have a lot to say about the movie. And it's gorgeous. I do recommend it, but it is a slow burn, so if you're not into that, I wouldn't recommend it. Prompt number 2. Built in 1902. Recommend your favorite Gaslamp Author book or story. Alright, I'm going to throw in a curveball here and do something a little different. I feel like a lot of times we talk about novels and short stories and such, but today I'm going to recommend a play. And that is Lorenzaccio by Alfred de Musset. This is kind of off topic because we are talking about the Victorian era, which was from 1837 to, when was it? What did I write? 1901. And this play came out in 1834. So I know I'm completely missing the mark here. I know. But it's such a cool play. It like...
Alright, my bad. My brain crapped out on me while I was trying to describe it. This is a really cool play. It's like a historical fiction, basically. And it takes place in Italy, and the main characters are the Medici family. Basically, you have Alexander of Medici, who is the Duke, and who is a really bad Duke. And Lorenzo, his cousin, takes it upon himself to free the city of Alexander because he's like evil to women. Like he's just... Anyway, so it's a really cool play. I totally recommend it.
Next prompt is The Haunted Staircase. Have you ever had a paranormal experience? If so, tell us about it. So I don't know if this was really paranormal, but I had an experience at the Grand Canyon years ago. And so this was like the last day we were there, right? And so we're on the edge of the canyon, and this, like, we were in one of those tour group things, and so everyone's kind of scattered. And I'm just looking. I'm just looking at the Grand Canyon, and I remember I was feeling kind of bummed out because the thing about being visually impaired is that a lot of people see things that you just don't. And so in situations like the Grand Canyon where they're like, oh my gosh, look at that, or like not just Grand Canyon, but traveling in general. And then you're just there like, I saw everything and you didn't. And so you just feel like you're missing out a lot of the times. And so sometimes it's a little bummy outy. And so that's not a word, but it is now. So yeah, I was feeling kind of down, and I just remember looking, at like the trees and stuff that are on the edge. I can't remember what it's called, but I just remember like the whole trip, people were like, oh, look at the animal, like, look at the birds in the trees, or like, look at this and that, and I'm just there staring at the trees like, I see trees, like, what are you talking about? And so I'm just standing there and I'm like, man, I wish, like, I don't know, it's one of those, I just remember thinking to myself, like, I really wish I could see an animal in its natural environment. Like, I was just there, like, man, just, like, really, I would love to see an animal, and out of nowhere, I swear no one else saw, this giant condor came swooping up the ledge and, like, in front of me. I don't know how to explain what happened, because it was like a paranormal experience, because I'm standing there, obviously not at the edge of the cliff. Thank you very much. The cliff. I'm standing a bit away from the edge of the cliff, and this condor comes up, full wingspan. I feel like I saw every feather. I mean, it was pretty close. And I remember I'm staring, like, facing myself, right? And it comes up, and then I remember blinking, and then I look up and around, and I couldn't, like, it was already gone. It was already gone, but I remember seeing it, and no one else saw it, and I was like, that was so cool. That was so cool. I have never seen, like, talk about, I think that was a paranormal experience. It was very cool. It was awesome. I loved it. So, prompt number 4 is Sleepwalker. And it is, recommend a book or movie featuring a creepy doll or a creepy kid. A creepy kid or a creepy doll. Big difference. Oh my gosh, The Bad Seed by William March. That Rhoda girl is creepy as hell. If you don't know, The Bad Seed is a story about Rhoda. I believe she's 8 or 10 in the book, something like that. And she is, I believe it's depicting psychopathy or sociopathy. I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just creepy. Like, she's just rude, man. But the book is awesome. It is more of a slow burn, so if that's not your thing, I don't know. Just a heads up, it's a slow burn, not a quick burn. Prompt number next. The Angry Ghost. Recommend a book or movie featuring a demonic or vengeful character. I'm gonna go with Insidious on this one, the Insidious series. So, I've seen the first and second one with my friend Melanie, and I'll tell you what, the first one just got me damn near crapping my pants. The first time I saw the first one, I was alone. Bad idea. And the second time I saw it was with Melanie, and it's just so good. It's so good. I feel like, unlike other, like, paranormal experience movies, I think this one is more true to like what believers describe entities are, like a possession is and everything. Sometimes things are a little bit Hollywoodized, you know, to fit the narrative and, like, the bling better, but this one I felt like was better in that regards. So, like I said, Mel and I saw the number 1 and 2, and we were like, movie night, let's watch the third one, because it was on Netflix. The third and fourth were on Netflix. Lo and behold, the third one wasn't there anymore. And what I think happened is that it just, like, you know, movies come and go on Netflix, and the third one went, but the fourth one didn't. I think the first and second one were still there, and so it's just like, why in the world would he have number 1, number 2, and then number 4, and then remove number 3? I mean, what the hell, Netflix? Man, seriously, that was rude. I mean, I don't know what kind of crap they were trying to pull, but, I mean, ridiculous. So we had to watch a different movie, and I mean, that was a whole extra 10 minutes out of our life. The Woman in Black. Tell us a well-known ghost story or urban legend from your area. I don't really know any. I believe there are some, because the forest near where I live has, I think, been a murder dumping ground in the history. But anyway, I will tell you a fun, creepy story that I don't know the outcome of, even though it happened years and years ago, and I could probably check online, but anyway. When I was in junior high, we had a school field trip, and so, being in France, we went to the Somme, which is a battleground from World War I, and we went to visit the trenches, because European kids don't go to Disneyland, I guess. Anyway, so we go there, right? And it was a cool trip. I remember. It was fun. I don't remember much of it, but I will remember one thing forever. There was a story, a rumor going around the bus. Okay. To this day, I don't know if it's true or not. Apparently, a few days before we went there, so apparently these two guys who were on duty were wrapping up for the day at the end of the day, and their wives came to get them, and these were two friends, and so that they were all four of them were gonna go like on a picnic or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, and so the wives go there to pick them up, and the guys are like, all right, like, let us, check one last thing, whatever, wrap up for the day. And apparently, a few days before we went, they stepped on a landmine and kaboom, bam, blew up. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it like that. Yeah, so they stepped on a landmine and blew up, and, like, right in front of their wives. So that's the urban legend. I still don't know if it's true or not, but I will tell you there are definitely still landmines from World War I hanging out in probably in England. I don't know if there are any in England, but definitely in northern France, in that area. Which blows my mind, because I'm like, there was a whole Second World War, and it didn't detonate all the ones from World War I, but anyway. Number 7, The Well. Recommend a book or movie with a tragic plot. Oh my god. Purge by Sophie Oksanen. Oh my gosh. The end, like, tore me to shreds. The whole book tears you apart. It's a story that takes place in Ukraine, during and right after the Cold War. And so you follow these two main characters, one of which, like, they're kind of like two generations, right? Like, one of them's story is more during the Cold War and a little bit after, and the other story, like, she, I guess, was born either, like, she was really young during the Cold War. She's the next generation, basically, okay? And so it's so tragic because the younger girl's story is like the trauma and aftermath of a Cold War, and the older woman's story is like during the war. I think her story was the worst, but like it talks about how, this is not a spoiler, by the way, it talks about how the war tore them apart, how like family members had different opinions, especially with all the propaganda and everything, and like how people, like how she acted one way to save her sister and then had to pretend to be another way to save herself. I'm all over the place, but I mean, it really messed with my head, but oh my gosh, totally read that book, please. Next question. Cemetery Playground. Every tomb tells a story. Recommend a short story anthology. Okay, so here's the thing. I really haven't read that many. So recently I read Lurking in the Dark by Regina St. Clair, and I'm currently reading Poking Holes by our very own Played by Visions. And I think, so I wanted to give him a shot because I wanted to read, obviously, fellow booktubers' words, which I thought were pretty cool too. But I think in that I realized that I'm not really an anthology person. I'm still enjoying it, but I think the format is hindering my enjoyment of the actual stories, which is my personal preference, but anyway. I mean, I guess I'll recommend those two if you want to support fellow booktubers. Other than that, I haven't really read any, so. Haunted Sleepover. Okay, I wrote the prompts and some answers on my computer, and I wrote, Haunted Sleepover, what were your sleepover must-haves? And I wrote, pillows and beer. Okay. Probably a great horror movie, some type of pizza or burger or food or snacks, and blankets. Pillows and blankets because I need comfortable stuff to live. Alright, that's been And yeah, that's been my tag. Tag others to take part. I don't believe in tagging, man. Tag yourself. You're tagged. If you're watching this and you have a channel and you haven't done it yet and you kind of want to do it, dude. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was kind of all over the place, but I think that's the beauty of it. Like this video if you did, subscribe, let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.